This is a breaking news update. The Middle East is descending into turmoil tonight as Iran launches a fierce retaliatory attack on a U.S. military base in Qatar. Imagine sirens ringing out across Doha, residents rushing for safety, and the night sky illuminated by the fiery paths of ballistic missiles. Iran's medium-range missiles have hit Udeid Air Base, a vital center for U.S. operations in the area. The Pentagon has confirmed the attack, but so far, there have been no reported casualties among U.S. troops. The pressing question is whether this will trigger a full-scale war. Welcome to Celebrity Cookies, where the tea is always hot and the stories come with sprinkles of surprise. Make sure to subscribe. Leave a comment with your take on the story. The situation is rapidly deteriorating. Iran has dubbed this strike Operation Glad Tidings of Victory, claiming it is a direct response to an unprovoked U.S. attack on their territory. Footage from Doha depicts chaos in the streets, families fleeing, traffic coming to a standstill, and the loud sound of air raid sirens. In Bahrain, similar scenes are occurring as residents are advised to seek shelter. Surface-to-air missiles are launched from Udeid, intercepting Iranian missiles in a tense defensive effort. The airspace over Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq, and the UAE is now closed, disrupting regional travel and highlighting the seriousness of the crisis. In Washington, President Donald Trump is in the Situation Room, keeping a close watch on what the White House describes as imminent threats to several U.S. bases in the Middle East. U.S. jets are on alert over Saudi Arabia, and intelligence reports indicate that Iran may be planning further attacks. The New York Times has reported that Iran coordinated this assault with Qatari officials, providing them advance notice to reduce casualties. According to 3 Iranian sources, this was a strategic decision. Tehran aimed to convey a message to the U.S. without provoking a full-scale war. They compare it to the 2020 incident when Iran informed Iraq before attacking a U.S. base in retaliation for the assassination of General Qasem Soleimani. But can this careful balancing act be maintained, or is the region on the brink of disaster? To grasp the current situation, we need to look back. Tensions have been escalating for weeks. Just 3 months ago, Trump's Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, stated that Iran did not pose an immediate nuclear threat. Then, the narrative changed abruptly. In private discussions, concerns about Iran's nuclear developments intensified. 2 weeks ago, Israel conducted a preemptive strike on Iranian sites, derailing what was intended to be the 6th round of diplomatic negotiations. The Trump administration later described these talks as a decoy to mislead Iran into feeling secure. Following this, the U.S. executed its own strikes, which Trump claimed had obliterated Iran's nuclear program. However, no evidence has emerged to support this assertion, and critics contend that the strikes represented a reckless escalation. I had the opportunity to speak with 2 prominent Democratic leaders just hours before Iran's response. First, House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries was candid when I inquired about Trump's actions. Only Congress has the authority to declare war, Jeffries stated, his tone calm yet resolute. The Constitution is unequivocal. Trump's choice to strike Iran without congressional approval is a serious breach of that principle. He must provide the American public and Congress with solid evidence of an imminent threat to justify this action. So far, we've seen nothing. There's no plan to prevent escalation, no strategy to avoid another disastrous war in the Middle East. The American people want no part in this. Jeffries highlighted the timing of events. Just last Friday, Trump said he would allow diplomacy 2 weeks to unfold. Then, unexpectedly, these strikes occurred. It's chaos. No one knows what's going on. Not Congress, not the public. This isn't how a country should be governed. He also mentioned that Democrats have been kept uninformed. I contacted the White House on Saturday, requesting a leadership briefing. Nothing came of it. Tomorrow, we'll have a classified briefing for all members, but that's already several days overdue. If Trump has proof of an imminent threat, he must present it. Avoiding Congress is equivalent to avoiding the American people. Jeffries went further, labeling Trump's social media posts as the ramblings of a lunatic filled with excessive punctuation and nonsensical demands. What on earth is happening? That's what Americans are asking, and they deserve answers. Next, I spoke with Representative Jim Himes, the leading Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee. As we conversed, news broke about Iran's missile launches, prompting a strong reaction from Himes. "If these reports are accurate, this is alarming," he remarked. "We can protect our bases in Qatar and Bahrain, but Iran has the ability to inflict serious damage. I hope we don't end the day with American casualties. If that occurs, we're at war." The Iranian regime cannot afford to appear weak. They have their own political issues and survival to consider. This is why Congress should have been involved. The stakes are too high for one individual to make these decisions alone. Himes criticized Trump's unpredictable behavior on social media, noting, "He's tweeting about oil prices, nuclear weapons, and Russian officials in all caps, as if he's shouting into the void. He even misspelled panicking. This isn't leadership, it's chaos." He seems to be trying to adopt the crazy guy strategy, similar to Nixon or Kim Jong-un, believing it will intimidate others into backing down. But we are the United States, and we don't govern through tweets and outbursts. We're supposed to have a thoughtful decision-making process. Himes expressed doubt about the effectiveness of military strikes, stating, "We don't even know if Iran's uranium is still at their facilities. They might have relocated it." Without regime change, and I'm not suggesting that's a good idea, there's no clear victory here. And as for regime change, just look at Iraq, Libya, and Afghanistan. Those outcomes weren't favorable for us. Iran is a nation of 90 million educated, proud people who won't accept a leader chosen by the US or Israel. History shows us that. Both Jeffries and Himes emphasize the importance of the War Powers Act, which mandates congressional approval for military action unless there's an immediate threat. Presidents have circumvented this rule in the past, Himes acknowledged. Clinton and Biden have acted unilaterally. But this situation is different. We're dealing with nuclear threats, 40,000 U.S. troops at risk, and a region on the brink of explosion. Congress should have a voice in this matter. As we speak, reports are emerging of additional Iranian missile launches aimed at U.S. bases in Iraq. Axios has confirmed explosions over Doha, and social media is filled with unverified videos of fiery blasts. The Pentagon has not commented on the recent strikes, but the atmosphere in Washington is somber. Sources indicate that the administration is preparing for a long conflict, even as Trump publicly claims this was a one-off incident. Additionally, there's the issue of Russia. Trump's posts reference former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev allegedly threatening to provide Iran with nuclear warheads. Himes confirmed that Medvedev made the statement, but dismissed it as mere posturing. "Russia isn't going to do that," he said. But Trump's fixation on it illustrates how unfocused he is. This conflict extends beyond just the U.S. and Iran. It's a complex geopolitical situation with Russia, China, and other nations closely observing. On the home front, this crisis couldn't have come at a worse time. Congress is currently dealing with a budget bill that Jeffries refers to as a GOP tax scam, which cuts Medicaid and nutritional assistance while increasing the national debt by trillions. He warned, hospitals will close, nursing homes will shut down, people will die. At the same time, protests are breaking out across the country. The No Kings movement has millions marching against what they perceive as Trump's authoritarian overreach. Jeffries described this as a critical moment for collective action through Congress, the courts, and public demonstrations. So what's next? Diplomacy seems far from achievable. The JCPOA, the Iran nuclear agreement, managed to keep Iran's nuclear program under control until Trump abandoned it in 2018. Himes contends that it's the only effective method to curb Iran's nuclear ambitions, but with missiles being launched, negotiations appear unlikely. Military escalation could lead to a wider conflict, jeopardizing American lives and global stability. However, inaction might encourage Iran and its allies. The reality is that no one knows what will happen next. Trump's team is projecting confidence, but their unwillingness to update Congress suggests they are in a state of confusion. Iran's retaliatory strikes indicate their readiness to respond, but their collaboration with Qatar suggests they may want to avoid a full-scale war. The Middle East is highly volatile, and any action taken now could trigger a major crisis. We will keep you informed as this situation evolves. Stay safe, stay updated, and let's hope for rational decision-making. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on this story.